Hello everyone, today we will be looking at the Alabama Goes to College Educators Toolkit. Alabama Goes to College equips Alabamians with tools and relationships so that every student can plan for, pursue, and complete valuable post-secondary credentials. Now, the Alabama Goes to College campaign consists of 3 different components. The first component is Cash for College. Cash for College's goal is for every graduating senior to complete their free application for federal student aid, or their FAFSA, before they graduate from high school so that they can access federal, state, and institutional aid to pay for their education after high school. The second component is Alabama College Application Week. It aims to increase the number of first-generation college students and students from low-income families pursuing a college degree or other higher education credential. And the third component is Alabama College and Career Decision Day. College and Career Decision Day celebrates students committing to pursue their education past high school, whether that's to obtain a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, a certificate or industry-recognized credential, or entering the military or pursuing a skilled trade. So the goal of the Educators Toolkit is to provide easy-to-use assets and templates for you to build a college-going culture in your school. The toolkit is what we'll be reviewing today. We'll start by going to alabamagoestocollege.org. That's Alabama spelled out and the number 2. alabamagoestocollege.org. Now there will be 2 subpages. The Students and Families subpage and the Educators subpage. You'll want to access the Educators subpage by clicking the Educators button. Now on the Educators subpage, you'll see this graphic, which contains live links to many of our most important resources. So at the top, you'll find our Educators Handbook. Let's click on it. This tells you about the campaign and each of the 3 components of the campaign, which I just mentioned. It shows you our campaign timeline, which includes important dates and deadlines, as well as recent data related to the importance of this work, and some state and national resources. You can find relevant hashtags, links, and contact information on this page. Again, this is our Educator's Handbook. It is meant to give you an overview of the campaign. So now going back to the graphic on the Educator's subpage, you will find below the Educator's Handbook a link to the Educator's Toolkit. Now the toolkit is housed on Google Drive and includes easy-to-use assets and templates for educators who want to build a college-going culture in their school. So there are general assets as well as assets related to each of the 3 components of the overall campaign. So 1 for Cash for College, 1 for Alabama College Application Week, and 1 for Alabama College and Career Decision Day. If you click any of these links, it will take you to the respective Google Drive folder. So let's go ahead and click Educators Toolkit. So now we're in the shared Google Drive. If you don't use Google Drive too often, I'd like to point out that you can view the files by utilizing the grid view or the list view. Right now we're looking at the list view. If you would like to change to the grid view, you can click this icon over in the top right. Now, in the grid view, you can see a preview of documents, which you might find useful. So let me go ahead and click in this first folder. As you can see in grid view, we see a little preview of each of our files. Please note that the formatting of a Word document might appear distorted in this little preview image. However, rest assured that when you actually download the file, the Word document's formatting will be fixed. So it's only within the preview that the image might appear distorted. So we're going to go ahead and open up this Word file. So now that we've actually downloaded the Word document, we see that all of the formatting looks correct. It was only in the preview image that file appeared a little bit distorted. So again, with grid view, you're able to see a preview of the file. With list view, you are able to see more of the title name, which you might find useful. So using grid view or list view is ultimately a matter of personal preference, but we wanted to point out that there are advantages to each view. So under list view, you might be able to better see the full title or name of the file. Now, we also want to note that in Google Drive, there are all different kinds of resources you can access, including flyers and graphics and documents that you can edit and customize. For documents that are templates, meaning they are fillable or editable, please first download the document to your computer before editing. Since these are shared folders, we want everyone to be able to access the templates and then to customize in their own downloaded file. So remember, first download the file before editing. And I'll show you an example of this. So we're going to go to our Cash for College folder, and within that, the planning folder. Now, you'll see that this folder contains different email templates for you. And when I click on the Getting Started email template, rather than clicking Open with Google Docs, I would instead click this down arrow in the far right corner in order to download the file. That way you can save the file to your computer before making edits. Now, if you don't have access to Microsoft products like Microsoft Word and therefore are not able to download the file to edit on your own computer, you can open up with Google Docs. And if you do this, then we recommend that you go to File, Make a Copy, and then make sure to save on a folder within your personal Google Drive. So you might have to click the back arrow a couple times so that you're not saving in one of the folders on the shared Google Drive. So this makes a copy into your personal Google Drive. Ultimately, we would like for you to avoid this option if you do have access to Microsoft products like Microsoft Word. But this is an option for those of you who might not have access to Microsoft products. So again, just to reiterate, for documents that are meant to be templates, those are mostly going to be Word documents. We ask that you first download the Word document to your own computer before making edits to the document. Like in this one at the very bottom, you would insert your contact details. So again, don't make edits until you've saved the file to your computer. So let's go back to our main page with all of the toolkit folders. In Google Drive, you can return to a folder by clicking the name of the folder at the top right here. So I'll click Alabama Goes to College. Remember, we have a folder containing general assets and then 3 folders that correspond to each of the 3 components of the campaign. Let's look at the general folder. In the general folder, you'll find our handbook, which we just reviewed, the campaign timeline that gives you key dates and deadlines, and then a calendar that you can customize with your school's events. Remember, for documents that you can customize, you should first download the file to your computer before editing. So now we'll go back out to our main page. We'll take a look at the Cash for College Outreach Toolkit. Under General, you'll find an overview of the campaign component, as well as examples of initiatives other high schools have implemented. So in Cash for College, you'll find examples of successful initiatives related to financial aid. Under our Planning folder, you can find event guides and other planning resources, like a planning calendar, worksheets such as the FSA ID worksheet, email templates, a lesson plan for government or economics classes, and guides for planning events in your community. Under digital assets, you can find graphics to promote your school's efforts, like graphics that can be used on social media and in emails and newsletters. For instance, this graphic highlights that 9 out of 10 students who complete the FAFSA attend college the following fall. Now, under print assets, you can find printable postcards to pass out and signs to hang around the school. So in Cash for College, you'll find posters and flyers that you can hang up around the school to promote FAFSA completion. Here's an example, our FAFSA FAQ. Now, under press, you can find a sample press release template. For instance, you can use this press release to announce your school's efforts related to promoting financial aid events. So that showed you every folder within our Cash for College Outreach Toolkit. We're going to go back to our main page, and let's take a look at the Alabama College Application Week Outreach Toolkit. Now, you'll notice here that there's another folder, Volunteers and Influencers. Under Volunteers and Influencers, you'll find email and letter templates for getting volunteers, sponsors, and local leaders to attend and support your event. So for College Application Week, you'll see a sample mayoral proclamation promoting the week, a template for recruiting volunteers to assist students with college applications, and a thank you letter and little graphic to show your appreciation for volunteers. So these are the kind of folders and resources you can expect to find in each of the 3 components. We didn't look at College and Career Decision Day yet, so let's take a look here. As you can see, all of the folders are set up the same way. All of the resources in this component will be related to celebrating your seniors' decisions to pursue post-secondary education or a career after graduating. And that is our Educators Toolkit. Remember, you can access all of these resources by going to alabamagoestocollege.org. When you're on the main landing page of the campaign, you can go to the Educators subpage On the subpage, you will find this graphic that has live links to all of our resources, like the Handbook and the Educators Toolkit.